If you really like this video, this vlog, why not consider liking, subscribing and commenting? It really helps the channel. Well, hello, good afternoon from me and Soxpuss. Hello, Puss. How are we, everybody? Hope we're well. I can definitely say the weather is a lot better since the last time I did a video vlog thing. It's been a lot cooler outside. It has rained since I made that video, my last vlog, and I'm so happy and appreciative for that rain because it was absolutely mafting. Absolutely mafting, as we call it back where I live. Absolutely mafting. But no, I've been good. I've been well. I've been busy. We've been decorating the house. During the editing process, I might put a couple pictures up of the process if I can. But yeah, we've been, since I got back from TF Nation, which is a Transformers convention I went to back in August. Well, end of July, beginning of August. Yeah, I went there a few weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I think that was. So I went there, and when I got back, my dad's been talking about giving the house a bit of an uplift, just a little bit of a lick of paint here and there in certain areas, like my dad's bedroom, the stairs and hallway, the bathroom, the living room and kitchen. So me and my good friend Smithy, he's been helping us. That's his day-to-day job anyways. That is his day-to-day job he does housing development basically, or painting, decorating, but he can do all sorts of different jobs. Yeah, he's been helping us out with the decorating and I've been helping a little bit. I know I'm probably going to get people laughing at me, and at this point I'm not surprised if anybody does. But I do not do steps. I do not do step ladders, anything of that nature. I do not like step ladders. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's down to the fact that I have a bit of I'm not very steady on my legs. I have a bit of a bad balance and coordination problem, which I do have which is down to my dyspraxia. Balance and coordination. It's basically eye-to-eye coordination. And I have a problem with that eye-to-eye coordination. It has caused me problems when I was a kid. But luckily I'm still alive and I'm still here to make this video. So it hasn't killed me yet. But so I think because of that, the fact that I have dyspraxia is, and also I'm not a big fan of heights, even though I have been on a plane. This is really weird, is that I don't have a problem with flying. So when I've been abroad, so obviously we went to America a couple of years back now. No, it was last year. Last year in September, we went to America for 2 weeks. I've also been to Spain a few times as well. So I don't have a problem with flying. Obviously, when I very first went on a plane, I did feel a bit nervous because I've never been on a plane before at that point. And this is going back to 2018, I think it was, when we went to Benidorm. I think it was either 2017 or 18, and we went to Benidorm, and it was me, my friend Matty, and my mate Smithy. It was our first abroad holiday together as friends, and it was my first abroad holiday ever, really, especially having to fly out. So we basically got on the plane. I was real excited. I had a bit of butterflies because I was more concerned about the security procedure, when you're handing your luggage. I was more concerned about the security check side of it than anything else, because knowing my luck, I'll get pulled over in a bloody random drug test or something, which obviously would prove absolutely ridiculous because I've never taken drugs in my life except for prescription drugs, which is like my asthma and things like that. That is the only type of paracetamol and things like that. That is the only type of prescription drugs, is the only drugs I've ever taken in my life. or over-the-counter stuff. But when it comes to actual naughty ones, I've never really touched it at all. It's just never been for me. But no, but for some reason in my mind, like everybody when they fly, nobody likes going through the security baggage and everything. Nobody likes doing that. And passport control and things like that. But that was the only thing that I was nervous about. But actually, once I got on the plane, I was like, oh man, I'm actually on a plane. This is great. But no, I had a really good time. I had a really good time. Benidorm was a good laugh. You know, it was a good lads holiday basically. And but yeah, so yeah, I don't have a problem with heights as in flying. You know, I can quite happily look out the window of the plane and look at the clouds and just look at the scenery outside. Like you see the land getting smaller and smaller and things of that nature. I don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to anything like step ladders, I think it's more. I don't think it's because it's a phobia of heights. I think where the phobia comes from is the fear of falling, or the fear of not being fully secured or secure. Because when you're on a stepladder and you go up the stepladder, you are at mercy of gravity. And all you need to do is make one bad movement and you're going flat on your ass or whatever. So yeah, I think that's where it comes from. I don't think it has anything. I think it has partly to do with me having bad balance and coordination due to me having dyspraxia. But I think as well, it's not just because of that. I think it's the fear of not being fully supported. Even if somebody's at the bottom of the ladders, you know, like keeping them steady for me so that they don't move, I still cannot stand going up them. Even if I can deal with a couple steps, like the first one or two steps on like a small set of steps, I can just deal with that. But anything higher than that, I cannot do it. I don't know what it is. People have tried to make me do it, or not make me do it, but I've tried to say, look, have a go at it. And I've tried, and I just feel myself really just wobbling all over the place, and I just can't seem to get my balance and coordination quite right. And I'm constantly moving, and I'm just like, I'm going to go over in a minute, and I'm going to crack my head open like Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. I'm going to do it. So, yeah, I don't do step ladders. So my good friend Smithy, for context reasons, my good friend Smithy during the decorating, like I said, it's his day-to-day job. So it's basically, he's a lot more confident on steps. He can literally lean off them. He can literally kind of like straddle them. Kind of like straddle the steps, so he can go right up onto the top step and then straddle over them. So he's like one foot on one side and another foot on the other. I'm just looking at him like, how the hell can you do that? I could not do that in a million years. But he basically, my mate Smithy's been doing what they call the cutting in around the skating boards and everything like that. So just to kind of like the bits that are really like the high bits, he's been kind of doing that. And I've been going around with a roller and just kind of like going over the actual main broad of the wall and with paint, and just helping with like shifting furniture and things like that. So that's basically what my job's been over the last few weeks. This weekend coming, we've got a bit of a break from doing the decorating because my mate Smithy, he's going to Bev races at the weekend, this coming weekend. So it's going to be like a 2 week break, and then we're going to resume again when he's back from there, from going to the races and that. So yeah, that's that basically. But yeah, we've been busy decorating the house. Yesterday, Saturday, we managed to finish and put a second coat and everything of paint. We managed to sort out the bathroom. We managed to finish the hallway and stairs, and Smithy did all the woodwork as well. So basically, he did all the white paint and stuff along like down the stairs, the skating boards, the ceilings. He did all that himself as well. So he did all that. So the next port of call for the decorating side of things is the kitchen. We're going to leave the living room for a little bit longer. The reason for that is because we've got the TV and my dad's got like amplifiers and stereo equipment in a cabinet just behind me here, just in front of me under the telly. My dad wants to be here so that he can actually sort all that out before we start moving any furniture. So basically, what we're going to do is the next time Smithy comes here to help us with some more decorating, we are going to basically we're going to do the kitchen next, and then the final job is going to be the living room. And then we go away to Wales and Scotland. We go to Wales and Scotland not long after that. So by the time we finish, because Wales and Scotland is only about roughly a month away. I think it's about roughly a month until we go to Scotland and Wales, or Wales and Scotland. So we go to Wales first for 1 week, and then Scotland for a second week. We're going to Tenby. I think it's a place called Tenby in Wales, a caravan park around there. It's a haven caravan site that we're actually staying at. And then there's another haven site we're staying at in Scotland as well. So basically we're staying in a static caravan, but we're going to be doing our own things. Instead of doing hotels, which is going to cost us a hell of a lot more in the long run because hotels are a lot more expensive, it's just actually cheaper to have like a permanent base, which is the static caravan being the base. We're not going to really do any driving, as we're going to keep the driving to a minimum. The only main driving we're going to be doing is basically kind of between Wales and Scotland. So basically when we leave Wales, we're going to be driving all the way to Scotland. And then then obviously the drive there and drive home. That's basically the longitude of the driving that's going to be done while we're away. We are going to kind of try, if we need to get any like little shopping essentials, if we need to do like a supermarket shop or something like that, then we'll probably take the car to that. But for the most part, we are going to kind of do a lot of like public transportation, like local trains or buses or taxis. We're going to kind of things of that nature. But yeah, so that's pretty much been my thing. I went to cinema on Friday. Again, it was a very last minute thing. You know when you just sat to yourself and you honestly don't know what to do with yourself. And I literally put the telly on. I was watching a film, and I had a look on my phone. I was like, I wonder if there's any films on at View or any films on anywhere in Hull that are interesting. And I went on View. I had a look through what was on as of Friday, and I noticed they had the Coyote Vs ACME film showing, and they only had one showing left. It was literally the last showing of the day, which was I think it was about 6:15 in the evening, and I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't even know that film was out yet. I honestly didn't know it was out. I thought it was in America. I thought it was out in America, and I didn't realise it actually came out this week. It'd only been out, I think it's only been out about a week, roughly, here, or this past week. And it looks like it's a very limited run, because I want to go and see it again, but the only showing, they're only showing it up to Thursday as of up to the moment. I don't know whether there's going to be more dates announced. Maybe it's just down to the scheduling. I don't know, but they've been showing the film literally all 7 days this week, from Monday right through to the week, all weekend. But next week, they're only showing. They've only got showings for Coyote Vs ACME from Monday to Thursday. There's nothing for Friday or Saturday or Sunday of next week. So part of me's wondering if it's only a limited run in the cinemas in the UK. And I noticed it. Odeon's the same, Cineworld's the same. So basically, every cinema in Hull, I've got the same Monday to Thursday next week, and I can't go and see it again because I'm working. They're my working days, Monday to Thursday, and by the time I get home, I'd have missed the showing totally. So I would like to go and see it again, but it's not looking like it. Not looking likely at all. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm guessing it's only been given a limited couple weeks run in the cinemas, which won't make very much sense. But anyway, so I went to see that anyways, and I really did enjoy myself. I love the Looney Tunes cartoons. I grew up on the classic Looney Tunes from the 50s or 60s or whatever. Well, probably from the 60s. Like Mel Blanc. You know, I grew up on the Mel Blanc Looney Tunes. Because we were very fortunate when I was a kid to have Sky TV, or Sky Digital, as it was called back then. And when there was a channel on Sky Digital, or Sky TV as it's called now, but anyway, on Sky, there was a channel that launched called Boomerang. And it was under Cartoon Network. And basically, Boomerang was when it first launched. I think Boomerang is still going, but they've changed it so much since we got rid of Sky. We don't have Sky anymore. But when Boomerang first launched as a channel, when that channel first launched, they basically. What's really quite interesting is they basically showed a lot of reruns of classic cartoons from as far back as like the 60s. So they basically, maybe the 50s as well in some cases. But through Boomerang, they showed Captain Caveman and the Pussycats, I think it was, the Hair Bear Bunch, Hong Kong Phooey. They showed the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Top Cat, Yogi Bear, Pink Panther. There was a few of them, but basically all the classic Hanna-Barbera stuff. And they also showed the classic Tom and Jerry. They also showed the classic, basically also I think Looney Tunes as well. I think they did some Looney Tunes stuff on there as well. But I think Looney Tunes was under Nickelodeon. As I remember some of the Looney Tunes stuff being on Nickelodeon at the time. But anyway, I used to absolutely love that channel, Boomerang, because it opened my eyes to cartoons that I didn't even know existed. I knew about the Flintstones because when I was a kid, in the 90s, a live-action adaptation to the Flintstones came out under Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg directed a live-action Flintstones film. And I went to see. I think I went to see that at the cinema when I was a kid, and I actually kind of like it. It's kind of like a guilty pleasure. The first live action. I mean, the original first live action under Steven Spielberg, I actually think is fantastic. I think that the casting choices are interesting, but I mean, obviously you got Rick Morales as Barney, which is fantastic. But no, I really liked the original live action, and obviously that came out in the cinemas. And then I noticed when Boomerang first launched, they were showing the classic cartoon for the Flintstones, so I got onto that. The Jetsons as well, and Top Cat and all that stuff. Absolutely top notch. They just don't make cartoons like that anymore. And with like Coyote Vs ACME, the film, it's basically the Looney Tunes characters in our world. So it's basically like Space Jam and Looney Tunes back in action. Space Jam's 2, even Space Jam's 2 is shite in comparison to the original. But this is a really brilliant film. I'm so happy that Coyote Vs ACME has actually been given the chance to shine, because of the whole legal stuff and things changing at Warner Brothers. It basically ended up getting shelved, and there was no plans. They basically wrote it off as a tax write off. Basically, that film. They shelved it indefinitely. It was all edited. It was all finished. It was ready to go. But they decided to shelve it. They decided not to release it, and they were just going to do it as a tax thing basically. And then there was a big campaign that happened. I think some voice actors that voiced Bugs Bunny and a few others, I think they got involved in it as well to try and get it released. And there was a massive big petition campaign, a big campaign to try and get it released. And then Warner Brothers finally listened, and they sold the rights, or sold the rights to a company called Ketchup Entertainment or something, that managed to get the rights to take it to cinemas, so to be able to release it theatrically. And so yeah, I'm just so glad I managed to get to see it anyways, because it's looking like it's only a limited run by the looks of it. But it's brilliant. If you're a fan of the Looney Tunes, I mean classic Looney Tunes, I'm not talking about the new Looney Tunes, which is nowhere near as good as it used to be. I'm talking about Mel Blanc type Looney Tunes, where it's completely completely mental, completely blow your head off. What the hell? This has Coyote vs ACME. That film, it has the true feeling of what Looney Tunes was all about. It feels like the classic Mel Blanc, proper old school Looney Tunes in real life, like Space Jam was. Space Jam was classic Looney Tunes, but on the big screen, mixed in with like Bill Murray and all them. But no, I really liked it. I thought the supporting, actual living cast, the actual actors, I thought they were really good alongside Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, Wile Coyote, and all them. I really think they really did a good job at support, and then the Looney Tunes characters, I thought they were really well done. I thought it was a brilliant film. But anyway, so thank you so much for watching. That's going to be my little vlog. I'm just going to enjoy my Sunday evening. I'm going to get something to eat sorted soon. At the moment, I'm just watching a bit of YouTube, just chilling out on my last day of freedom, and then I'm back at work tomorrow. But I take solace in the fact that I've only got roughly, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. I think I've got another, I think it's 3 more weeks, I think it is, give or take. Maybe 4. 3 weeks to 4 weeks, and then we go away, and I'm off for 2 weeks from work. So Wales, first week, Scotland, second week. So thank you so much for watching. I'll be back very soon with more vlogs and more videos. And again, I just want to say to anybody that follows me on this channel, big thank you for 800 subscribers on my main channel. I've just reached 800 subscribers. I'm now actually at 807. I've actually gone up 7 subscribers since I reached 800. So things are really working out nicely on the main channel, but it would be nice if this channel got a little bit of resurgence in activity as well. But there we go. We can't have everything in life, can we? We can only dream. But anyway, so thank you for the support as always. So take care. Bye-bye. See you soon.